welcome to Cooking with Clementene. I am going to make a video showing you guys what I'm having for dinner tonight, which is kumara curry, and it's going to have a peanut based sauce. So it's going to be creamy and nutty and crunchy in places and sweet and fulfilling. Makes me happy. Bouncy. The bigger the better. So here's most of the ingredients for tonight's dish. So there's a whole can of chickpeas, one whole red onion that's just been sliced, not too thinly, not too thickly. You can use white onion if you so desire. I'm going to use red today just because it's a little bit sweeter and this is quite a sweet dish. So the kumara in the back there, I've diced it into about 1.5 centimetre dice. So I don't want it to be too small because I don't want it to cook out too quickly and go mushy. And then in here we have, so we've got left to right half a teaspoon of smoked paprika and about 1/4 teaspoon of chilli flakes. And then this here is 4 cloves of garlic that I've passed through the microplane. And then there's just 1 teaspoon of cumin and 2 teaspoons of curry powder. They were quite big teaspoons, you can use 3. And here's my 1.5 cups of just raw peanuts that I have passed through the blender. So I've left them pretty chunky, as you can see. There are finer bits in there, but I want it to have a bit of texture and crunch. And I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of coconut sugar. You can just use brown sugar if you don't have coconut sugar. And then I'm going to use 4 tablespoons of tomato paste. And this here's a 200ml box of coconut cream, but I'm probably going to add about 3/4 cup of water to that, just to reconstitute it a bit, otherwise it's going to be too thick. So if you don't have coconut cream, you can just use a whole can, like a 375ml can of coconut milk, and that'll do the same thing. So I've got my pan on a nice hot heat. You can see the smoke coming off it. So I'm pretty much going to add most of these ingredients in at the start, just to get some nice colour on them. So my onion's going in. My kumara's going in at the same time. You want a pretty big pan for this if you're going to follow this recipe, just because there is quite a lot of kumara. Cumin, chilli and paprika, curry powder, and my garlic. Yes, I probably use about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in the pan. Don't want it to be too dry. Man, that already smells amazing. So I'm gonna throw my peanuts in there as well, just because I want them to get a bit of a nice brown colour on the peanuts. Colour equals flavour. Oh yeah, smells good. So I'm getting some good colour on here. You can probably see the nuts and stuff browning up. Just going to be careful not to burn it. So if you've got a good quality non-stick pan, you can use less oil to cook in. It won't like stick or burn as fast. So it's worth having a good non-stick pan. Carb the fuck up. So my coconut cream's just gone in. I'm going to add about 3/4 cup of water to that. I might add some more, but we'll just see how we go, because I don't want it to be too watery. We'll see how the kumara cooks out, and then we can add some more if we need to. Okay, so I've put my tomato paste in, and I've put in some coconut sugar, And so I'm gonna let it boil for about another 5 minutes or so, just to get the temperature up there, and then I'm gonna just turn it right down so it can simmer, and just so it can cook out slowly. And I'm gonna be careful not to blast the shit out of it, because once you start overcooking your vegetables, you start destroying some of the nutrients. So I'd like to stop cooking this as soon as the kumara is tender. And I don't want to like cook it out for ages so it stews or anything. So I'm just going to turn it down to a lower heat after about 5 minutes, and then it will be easier to monitor once it's once the kumara's cooked through. I can stop cooking it straight away. So I'm ready to turn it down because it's been on quite a high heat for about 5 or so minutes. I put a couple of heaped tablespoons of peanut butter in when you guys weren't watching. Normally I would say go for crunchy, but smooth is also forgivable because we've already got texture from our peanuts in here. So it's good to use smooth just to get that smooth, creamy peanutness in the sauce as well. So I'm going to add about 3/4 of a cup of water, just because it's going to need more water to cook out the kumara properly. I'm not even going to measure it, I'm just going to pour it in. I've already boiled my water, so it doesn't slow down the cooking progress. Oh, it smells so good. I'm going to pour on my chickpeas, garbanzo beans. They add some delicious protein. All about them protein gains. And the other thing that I love about this meal is that, yeah, we didn't have to kill anyone to make it, so there's that too. So I'm just going to let my curry kind of simmer away at that temperature until the kumara is nice and soft. Put some salt and pepper in there before as well. So you can see it's kind of got enough liquid that it's going to be able to cook the kumara out before it goes too thick and dry. So yeah, I added would have been about 1.5 cups of water, but if you think it's looking too dry, you can always just add a bit more, unless you want it dry, or if you want it to be more saucy, just add some more water. It's up to you really, but this is a pretty good consistency. I'm quite happy with that. And I've got some rice cooking in the back away here. So it's 3 cups of water to 2 cups of rice, and I'd probably want at least a cup of rice for myself. So this is quite nice, like large portions for 2 people. So I just rinse my rice off quite well before I cook it as well, just to stop it from going gluey and stuff at the end when it's cooked. My rice has been boiling for about 5 minutes, so I've just turned it down to low. I'm just going to cover it and let it chill the fuck out. So I usually eat probably about 1.5 cups, 2 cups of rice for my dinner. Yeah, this looks awesome. It's a beautiful colour. Smells amazing. Slap it on there. Open it up. We've got some fried onions. This is going to add some texture and crunch and flavour, of course. And some spring onion that I sliced up.